Hi, I'm Amanda Perno with ehow.com, and today I'm going to show you how to put a ruffle on the bottom of a dress. So first thing I'd like to tell you are there are two major different types of ruffles. There are ruffles where one side is stitched and one side is loose. And there's another type where two sides are loose, so it's stitched right down the center. I personally like this style better. I think it has a little bit more movement, is a little bit more interesting. So this is the type that I'm going to show you today. This is very easy. You can do this to anything that you have with very little sewing skills. So let's get started. First things first, you get your garment. So I have this really cute little pink dress, but it's kind of plain and needs something added. So the first thing you're going to have to do is figure out where you want it and the width. So you'll just measure it out all the way around, both front and back, because you want to make sure that your ruffle goes all the way around unless your design decision is to just do part. So here we have 47 inches. I like to do a 2-to-1 ratio, which means your fabric is going to be doubled whatever your length needs to be. So because this is so big, we're probably going to have to make 4 of these in order to get all the way around, but that depends on the width of your fabric. So that's one thing you'll have to figure out, and make sure you ask when you buy your fabric what the width of the fabric is, so that way you know, or you can even measure it, but it's a little bit easier if you ask. That way you know how many ruffles it takes to cover the whole dress. So once you have your measurements and you've done all of your math, the next step is to cut your fabric. So I know that I am interested in having a 2-inch ruffle, and I know how long it needs to be, and for time's sake I'm just going to make a little sample so you see what you need to do. You're just going to take some chalk or a marker, whatever you'd like to use. You're going to trace off however wide you want it to be. Like I said, mine's going to be 2 inches. So I have my 2-inch mark. You're going to take your scissors, cut your fabric, and you can do this ruffle with any kind of fabric you'd like. If you want something flowy like a chiffon, that's beautiful, or mesh like on the dress I showed you before. You could do any kind of fabric the same exact way. This will work for anything. So you cut your ruffle. Okay, so once your ruffle is cut, the next step is to do a gathering stitch. So all that means is you're going to take the machine, run a stitch, and you're going to pull thread. This is why I say a 2-to-1 ratio is better, because once you pull the threads, it's not going to be that wide anymore. So you want it to be in the center of your thing. You're going to make sure that your stitch length is high. I like to do gathering stitches on 5. Just going to sew a simple stitch, do not back stitch. Make sure you pay attention to which is the back side of your thread. And you're going to take your one side and you're just going to pull it. If you have a really long one, you're going to want to leave some breaks, so that way if you break a thread, you don't have to start all over again. So this is what you have with your gathering stitch. Nice and easy. I told you it takes 5 seconds to do. And then what you're going to do is take your dress and you're going to sew it on to your dress. So, of course, whenever you're doing something like this, you need to pin. So you will just stick a few pins. Always do them lengthwise like this, never across this way, because then it can break your needle of your machine. So just going to stick a few quick pins in here like so. And then once again, take it to your machine. It's best if you can try to get it on the same stitch, so that way you don't have stitches all over your garment. You sew on your ruffle. With this, you're going to want to do a back stitch. Take it off. And there you have it. And so if you were doing a full ruffle, if you measured it all out, did the proper measurements, it would more or less look like this. You took your plain, cute little dress, made it something that none of your friends have, one of a kind, and you did it yourself. My name's Amanda Perna. Thanks for watching.